Have you ever wondered why certain people turn their heads when you walk by, even on days when you feel completely ordinary? There's something extraordinary happening that you might be missing. I'm not talking about conventional beauty standards or trendy outfits. I'm referring to that magnetic essence, your unique way of existing in the world that leaves others completely captivated, often without you even realizing it. The most fascinating part: you probably undervalue this power. You might believe that because you don't match some arbitrary beauty standard, you couldn't possibly have that kind of impact. But what truly draws people to you goes far beyond physical features. It's that natural confidence, that genuine self-expression that simply cannot be manufactured. It's the energy shift that happens when you enter a room, before you've even spoken a word. Today, I want to reveal the unmistakable signs that you're far more attractive than you give yourself credit for. Signs that others, especially men, notice intensely even when they try to hide their reactions. Some of these signals are so subtle you might have dismissed them entirely. Watch until the end because sign number 9 is frequently overlooked by women, yet it's absolutely irresistible to others. I promise, after watching this video, you'll begin to recognize your own magnetic presence in a completely new light. Sign 1. People become noticeably nervous in your presence. This might be the most genuine indicator that's constantly misinterpreted. When someone fumbles their words around you, struggles with eye contact, or seems unusually self-conscious, you might assume they're disinterested or uncomfortable. The reality? They're experiencing the opposite. They're so drawn to you, they can barely function normally. Pay attention to the details. When someone is genuinely attracted to your presence, their body language gives them away completely. They might touch their face or neck repeatedly, adjust their clothing without reason, shift their weight from foot to foot, or suddenly speak either much faster or noticeably slower than usual. Sometimes they even fall silent mid-conversation, as if their thoughts have evaporated. And it's not because they lack social skills or confidence. It's because your presence is literally throwing their system off balance. There are certain women whose energy is so powerful that even the most socially adept person can temporarily lose their composure. What I'm sharing with you is that this apparent discomfort is actually a powerful compliment. If you notice someone who's typically relaxed becoming suddenly self-aware, changing their posture, or focusing too intensely on trivial actions when you're nearby, trust me, you're having a profound effect on them. And most importantly, never dim your light to make others more comfortable. Embrace that power. When someone gets flustered around you, it's because they recognize you're someone extraordinary. Sign 2. You catch people looking at you more than once. This might seem obvious, but it's one of the most powerful yet underappreciated indicators. When you're truly magnetic, the world around you registers it, even when you don't. You might think you're simply going about your day, grabbing coffee, waiting in line, walking down the street. But from others' perspective, something about you demands attention. What's truly revealing isn't the initial glance. It's that second look, when someone has already passed by but turns back for another glimpse. Do you understand what that means? Something about your presence made such an impression that a single look wasn't enough to satisfy their curiosity. That second glance is the most honest acknowledgement that there's something remarkable about you. And here's the key: it has absolutely nothing to do with wearing flashy clothes or spending hours on your appearance. Often, it's simply your natural way of moving through the world, your posture, your calm yet magnetic energy. It's something effortless yet palpable. Many women miss these signals because they're focused on their destination, their phone, or their thoughts. But if you've ever caught someone looking back at you without saying anything, believe me, that's undeniable evidence that you possess something compelling that others can sense immediately. Sign 3. You downplay compliments while consistently receiving them. Here's one of the most telling paradoxes. On days when you feel least put together, someone still tells you how amazing you look. Or you hear comments like, "I can't exactly explain it, but there's just something about you that's so captivating." This isn't coincidence or mere politeness. It's clear evidence that you radiate something that affects others, even when you're completely unaware of it. This happens frequently with authentic women who aren't obsessed with perfection, but who naturally awaken something in others. Perhaps you're convinced your hair isn't cooperating, your outfit is nothing special, or you're not meeting some imaginary standard, yet the compliments keep coming. Why? Because your attractiveness transcends what any mirror can reflect. From an outside perspective, We often struggle to articulate it precisely, but we definitely feel it. There's something in your voice, your expressions, your laughter, the natural way you navigate life that makes us think. This woman has absolutely no idea of the impact she creates. And believe me, that unconscious quality is incredibly magnetic. What's fascinating is that the contrast between your self-perception and how others see you actually amplifies your appeal. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not forcing anything. You're simply being yourself. And that authenticity combined with your natural energy creates an attraction that's difficult to explain but impossible to ignore. Next time someone tells you there's something special about you, instead of brushing it off, consider believing them. Because that something special is simply you being yourself. Sign 4. People find trivial reasons to interact with you. This is a classic signal that many women completely miss. When someone feels drawn to you but isn't sure how to approach directly, they'll manufacture any excuse to be in your orbit. These pretexts often involve seemingly insignificant matters, asking for help with something simple, seeking your opinion, requesting recommendations, or asking small favors. On the surface, these interactions appear casual, but trust me, they're anything but random. When we're attracted to someone, we create opportunities for connection, finding ways to initiate conversation without making our interest too obvious, especially when we find someone slightly intimidating because we're so drawn to them. Instead of approaching with direct compliments, we'll appear with questions about virtually anything just to be near you. And the key indicator isn't a one-time occurrence, it's the pattern. If you notice someone consistently finding reasons to message you, call you, approach you, or remain in your vicinity for the most minimal reasons, that's your clear signal. What they're asking for isn't what actually matters, it's the underlying motivation. Often, you might not even register it as unusual. But if you observe carefully, you'll recognize that these small interactions are merely excuses for something much more significant: their desire to connect with you, to be near you, to hold your attention. So next time someone asks for your help with something they could easily handle themselves, notice if it comes with a nervous smile, a shift in tone, or lingering eye contact. Because sometimes, "Could you help me with this?" actually means, "I'm looking for any reason to be close to you." Sign 5. You receive unwarranted criticism from other women. This isn't pleasant to discuss, but it's important to understand. When a woman possesses true magnetism, not just physical beauty but a compelling presence and energy, not everyone responds positively. And importantly, it's not because you're doing anything wrong. Most often, you're not even trying to stand out. Yet you might notice certain women giving you strange looks, making passive-aggressive comments, or criticizing aspects of your personality or appearance that honestly make no sense, as if your confidence, appearance, friendliness, or simply your way of being is somehow excessive. I want you to understand something crucial. This unjustified negativity isn't about you at all. It's about how your presence makes others feel about themselves. Your natural attractiveness can cause insecure individuals to compare themselves unfavorably, which triggers defensive reactions. Have you ever been labeled as arrogant when you barely spoke a word? Or noticed someone trying to compete with you over something you weren't even pursuing? That's exactly what I'm describing. Not all women will react this way. Many will admire you, be inspired by you, or naturally gravitate toward your energy. But when you encounter baseless criticism, uncomfortable stares, or attempts to diminish your natural shine, don't internalize it. Consider it evidence that you're radiating more brightly than you realize. Your energy and presence can indeed make those who aren't secure within themselves feel uncomfortable. While unfair, this reaction is one of the clearest indicators that you possess an attractiveness you haven't fully acknowledged yet. Sign 6. Strangers smile at you unprompted. Has this ever happened to you? You're going about your day, walking down the street, shopping for groceries, using public transportation, and suddenly someone, particularly a man, smiles at you without any apparent reason. They don't speak. They don't know you. They're not even attempting conversation. They simply smile, sometimes shyly, as if embarrassed you noticed, other times confidently, as if silently acknowledging your energy. Though it might seem insignificant, it's anything but. That smile is a direct response to what you naturally project. When someone possesses true magnetism, again, not merely physical attractiveness, it radiates outward. It's perceptible. There's something in your way of moving through the world, your expressions, your very existence that naturally draws people in. This magnetism causes many to feel an impulse to connect, even in the smallest way, through a smile that serves as a wordless greeting, a silent acknowledgement of your impact when they don't know how to approach you otherwise. And what makes this particularly meaningful is that spontaneous smiles cannot be manufactured. They emerge involuntarily as a direct reaction to the energy you unconsciously emit. So the next time a stranger smiles at you without obvious reason, don't dismiss it as random. You're likely not trying to attract attention. You're simply generating it effortlessly through your natural presence. Sign 7. Attached men struggle not to notice you. I recognize this point is delicate, but it deserves honest discussion. When a woman possesses genuine magnetism, her energy doesn't go unnoticed, and occasionally, even men in committed relationships find it difficult not to take notice of you. I'm not suggesting this is appropriate or that you're intentionally causing it, but it happens more frequently than you might realize. You're at a social gathering, walking through a public space, sitting in a cafe, and you catch that lingering glance from someone who is clearly unavailable. Though they often try to conceal it, knowing they shouldn't be looking, their instinctive response betrays them. Attraction isn't always controllable, especially when triggered by something deeper than physical appearance, something that resonates on an energetic level. Here's what's important to understand. You aren't deliberately causing these reactions. It's your essence, your presence, your natural way of being. This doesn't mean you should feel uncomfortable or remotely responsible. On the contrary, it's clear evidence that your feminine energy is powerful, magnetic, and difficult to ignore, even for those who are committed elsewhere. Sign 8. Your social media attracts attention without effort. This is something many people notice about you, though you may not fully recognize it yourself. You share a casual photo, no exaggerated poses, no revealing outfits, no calculated attempt to generate engagement. Yet the responses flood in, likes multiply, and reactions continue steadily. Does this sound familiar? You might wonder what's so special about these ordinary posts. But it's not about the content itself, it's about you. When someone possesses authentic magnetism, they don't need to perform or expose themselves to create impact. What captivates others isn't just what's visible, but what's transmitted. Your authenticity, your expressions, your natural way of being creates a resonance that transcends the screen. And believe me, people sense it immediately. Some even find it intimidating because they don't know how to respond to such genuine feminine energy presented so naturally. What's most interesting is that many women in this position don't recognize their own power. They believe they need to do more, show more, curate a more perfect image. But your true influence lies in your natural way of existing. Whether you appear in a simple t-shirt without makeup or sharing ordinary moments from daily life, the attention you receive without effort is one of the clearest signs that you're far more attractive than you realize. Sign 9. Men behave inconsistently around you. This is one of the most revealing indicators, yet one of the most misunderstood by women. You've likely experienced this. Someone shows clear interest, seeking you out, engaging in conversation, offering compliments. Then suddenly, without explanation, they disappear. After a brief absence, they return as if nothing unusual happened. Confusing, isn't it? You wonder if they're playing games or sending mixed signals. Here's the reality. Often, they're not playing at all. They're struggling with their own response to you. When someone is genuinely attracted to a woman they perceive as exceptional, that attraction can be overwhelming. They may feel intimidated, uncertain how to proceed, or afraid of rejection. So they retreat, not because they lack interest, but because their interest is too intense. And here's the key insight. You might interpret their withdrawal as disinterest when actually they're trying to process their feelings and figure out how to approach you without making themselves too vulnerable. Some withdraw because they don't feel worthy. Others return once they've gathered courage. But in either case, they're revealing the same truth. There's something about you that profoundly affects them. So next time someone pulls away unexpectedly and then reappears as if nothing happened, consider this perspective. It's not always emotional confusion. Sometimes it's pure attraction they simply don't know how to handle. Sign 10. You underestimate your own impact. This is perhaps the most powerful indicator of all, because it happens with remarkable frequency. The most magnetic women often don't recognize their own power. They move through life questioning themselves, making comparisons, wondering if they're enough, when in reality, they're the ones creating the most significant impression. From an outside perspective, it's unmistakable. It shows when you enter a space without seeking attention, yet naturally draw it. It shows when you speak authentically, without trying to impress, yet leave the deepest impression. Do you know why? Because you're not performing, you're simply being. And when someone lives with that authenticity, it carries extraordinary power. But here's the crucial understanding. When you don't recognize this quality in yourself, that power remains partially hidden. It's like having a light that's partially covered. When you begin to acknowledge it, not from arrogance, but from quiet self-awareness, something shifts. Your body language, your energy, your expressions, everything aligns. And believe me, others feel this shift immediately. If any part of you still doubts the energy you naturally radiate, remember this. Your power doesn't begin when someone else recognizes it. It begins when you accept it yourself. Sign 11. Your absence affects people more than your presence. Let me explain something fascinating. Some women immediately command attention when they enter a room, but others, and you're likely among them, create an even more powerful effect when they leave. It's as if the energy in the space diminishes noticeably in your absence. That warm presence, that natural way you have of making everything flow more easily, suddenly it's gone. And people feel that void. Perhaps no one articulates it directly. Perhaps you don't even notice it yourself. But when someone possesses true magnetism, it's not just about what they project. It's about how they make others feel. And when that presence disappears, the contrast becomes obvious. The conversations shift, the energy cools, and without understanding exactly why, people find themselves thinking about you. That's what makes you unforgettable. You don't just arrive. You remain in people's thoughts, sensations, and memories, often without intention or awareness. So if you've ever noticed someone watching as you leave, or received a message later saying, "You left early," or "We missed you after you went," don't dismiss it. It's another way of saying, "Your presence affected me." And that cannot be manufactured. It's something you naturally embody. Sign 12. Silence with you feels meaningful, not awkward. Listen carefully, because few women notice this, though others definitely experience it. When someone possesses true magnetism, there's no need to fill every moment with words. Their mere presence creates such a compelling atmosphere that even silence becomes charged with meaning. Have you experienced being with someone when conversation naturally pauses and they don't fidget anxiously, reach for their phone, or scramble to fill the gap? They simply remain present with you, as if your company alone is completely sufficient? That's no coincidence. That's pure attraction. It's not that they can't think of anything to say. It's that they're processing what they're feeling in your presence. They might not verbalize it, but internally they're wondering, why do I feel so comfortable just being near this person? How can someone affect me so deeply without even speaking? That ease and silence, that natural intensity, can only be created by someone who radiates something far beyond surface-level appeal, someone who communicates serenity, depth, and authenticity without words. So if you notice comfortable silences between you and others, particularly when they don't rush to break that silence or change the subject, it's because your energy is already communicating everything necessary. And when that happens, you've already created a connection without even trying. Now I'm curious, how many of these signs have you noticed in your own life? Have you caught people looking at you differently or received attention without understanding why? Share your experiences in the comments, because sometimes what you don't see in yourself, others are feeling intensely. Your stories might help you recognize the power you naturally carry. If this video helped you see yourself from a fresh perspective or understand that your impact doesn't require explanation or validation, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here, we're not discussing superficial matters. We're exploring energy, presence, and authentic magnetism that can't be purchased or fabricated. It can only be felt. Never underestimate what you naturally radiate. Your way of moving through the world, your expressions, your very existence leaves an impression. And often, while you're questioning whether you're enough, others are already hoping for just a moment in your presence. You are already far more than you believe. And this is just the beginning. See you in the next video.